onto the Rangers board as directors, and Derek Lumbias and Barry Leach have been voted off the board. Here are the results. Firstly, the first two resolutions were not voted on because the chairman David Summers and director James Easdale resigned. There were only 5 resolutions. The first one that was voted on was the removal of Derek Lumbias, and 84% of votes have been cast in favour of that resolution to remove Derek Lumbias, with just 15% against. Similar margin for Barry Leach, 84.75% voting in favour of removing Barry Leach. In favour of Dave King coming onto the board, 85%. Paul Murray, 85%, and John Gilligan, 85%. So it is indeed a landslide for Dave King. We have a new board, we have a new man in charge of Rangers Football Club this afternoon. Dave King says he wants to be chairman. He says he's not going to take up that post immediately while he is vetted by the authorities. Paul Murray we expect to take over as interim chairman. John Gilligan will join them on the board. Derek Lumbias and Barry Leach have been removed. This is very much a seminal moment in the recent history of Rangers, and the shareholders, well, they have voted and it's a landslide. And of course, Sandy Easdale abstained from that vote, so his 20% of proxies were never considered in this. It'll be interesting to see who voted in favour of Leach and Lumbias, but it's irrelevant. Dave King, Paul Murray and John Gilligan have been voted on as the directors at Rangers.
Charles, we heard from some of the shareholders there just before. What do you think the response of the Rangers supporters will be to this news?
Well, they knew the result a few weeks ago, it's fair to say. The supporters, the hardcore supporters who have been proxying their votes to the Supporters Trust and to Rangers First, these organisations that have been rallying the fans together, they were so confident of victory. And Dave King, he was extremely confident of victory as well when he last did a media conference in Scotland over a month ago. We learned on Sunday night that he gained enough votes for the motions to carry today, and certainly this is exactly what most Rangers fans will have wanted. Now, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered by the new regime, and hopefully we'll get a few more of those answers later this afternoon. Dave King did a series of interviews yesterday. He was asked about whether or not he is going to get a new nomad because Rangers shares are currently suspended on the stock exchange and they could be delisted if they don't get another one. What's his plan financially? Will he stump up, as he said in the past, £30 million of his own funding? How will it be split amongst all the influential shareholders who want to invest in Rangers? There's lots of questions about his financial plan. Is he a fit and proper person? Will the SFA allow him to sit as a director? So he will have to address these issues. They'll also have to look at how they deal with Sports Direct's loan, and he will probably also have to negotiate with Mike Ashley to an extent. But at this moment in time this afternoon, the vast majority of Rangers supporters, I think, Pete, will be over the moon.
Well, Charles, many thanks for bringing us that breaking news and for your work this morning, this afternoon. So let's just